Welcome to the Spinning Our Gears podcast. Before we begin, a quick reminder. All views, issues, and opinions are solely those of the hosts and their guests and do not reflect the opinions or positions of any department, agency, city, county, municipality, state, or country, or any other organization. This show is rated E for explicit. Listening and viewer discretion is highly advised. Spinning Our Gears is a law enforcement leadership and mental health podcast. We confront the issues and conversations others are afraid to deal with. Leadership failures, the culture within law enforcement, accountability, and the realities of life on and off the job. You can find us on YouTube, all of the major podcasting platforms and social media outlets, as well as online at spinningourgears.com. And now, without further fanfare, this is the Spinning Our Gears podcast.
Spinning our gears. Admin talks and broken plans, doing the best that we can. Jokes on shift, truth off mic, trying to live a normal life. Mental health ain't weakness, no, it's the stuff we learn as we go. Say it out loud, make it clear, this job don't own us here. So tune it in, don't disappear when it all gets heavy here. Real talk, real voices clear, spinning our gears, podcast is here.
We are talking with Rich from the Responder Reset podcast. The man doesn't hold any punches. He knows all about it. And when we get to the fifth deadly sin of mental health issues within the first responder world, this one kind of hits home because he's not just talking about leadership. He's talking about every single person looking in the mirror and kind of figuring themselves out. This episode was all about accountability. And yes, we can hold leadership accountable, but we also got to hold ourselves accountable as well.
Yeah, what I heard right after this, Turk, was, you really got on the leadership. And I was like, well, did you get to the 37th minute? Because that's where I kind of turn it back on the individual. I'm all for individual accountability. I think we need to do a better job of holding ourselves accountable. We also fall into these traps of thinking, it's everybody else's problem, not mine. And it's easy to do because if I'm already surrounded in a toxic work environment where that's the narrative, you know what I mean? That it's easy to kind of fall into that because number one, you don't want to be the guy that's like, no, it's not us, it's not them, it's us, because then we lose our peer relationships. So we want to kind of fall in line, and it's easy to do. I use a very quote unquote shitty analogy, and my analogy is this: if I shit my pants, Turk, and I sit next to you, right, and I sit next to you, and I'm like, hey, Turk, can you smell that? I think I shit my pants. And you're like, yeah, man. Yeah, I smell that. But you don't say, hey, Rich, go clean yourself off. You just kind of enjoy the smell with me. And then you're going to look to your right and you're going to tell Joe sitting next to you, man, Rich fucking shit his pants over here. And if Joe is like, yeah, man, it fucking stinks. It's up to Rich to fucking stand up, take that first step, wipe himself off and kind of move away from that environment. So when it comes to that accountability, yeah, it's a shitty analogy, but it's one that I think most first responders can resonate with. It's walking into the roll calls, it's walking into your specialty unit. It's what we all know these people. We all know these people that are literally sitting in their own shit and struggling.
Yeah.
And instead of having those difficult conversations and helping them hold themselves accountable, we just we just buy into it. We're like, yeah, it fucking stinks. I'm not going to tell you to do anything about it, but I'm gonna tell you that that
I'm
stinks.
gonna complain about it and tell
Yeah.
everybody else about it. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely,
Exactly.
absolutely. And I have to hold myself accountable. I have to call myself out here because one of the things that I noticed, and it took a long time to realize it, was that roll call usually was so detrimental to the shift because I could be having an amazing day, and as soon as I walk through those doors and into that roll call room, it was so negative, and there was gossip, and there was rumors and constant negativity floating around to the point where instead of calling it out, I started to single myself out, and I'm like, I can't go through this. It's too negative. I was having a good day, and now I'm all pissed at the world.
Right.
Would have been a perfect time to call it out and say, hey, as an environment, as a culture in this PD, let's change what we're thinking and what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that. So
Yeah, I mean, Turk, it's easy. It's easy to point the finger at the ivory tower. Like we've been doing it for years. It's easy to do that. If and when you start holding yourself accountable and you take out that pocket mirror and look at yourself and go, fuck, maybe it is me. And you stop making changes, and you stop making the changes, and you start doing the things to kind of put you out of that counterproductive thought pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And those things are still in play, and that evidence is still there. That the executive staff is a bit of a problem. And then I say you have two choices: you grit your teeth and you just get through it, or you move on.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're seeing, Turk, now is, it isn't the same mindset of a me and you, where we're going to stay with an agency for forever, regardless of how they're treating us. That loyalty is no longer there. So we're seeing more of these young kids, and everybody's like, oh, the young kids, they're soft. And no, they're not. They're fucking smart. They are extremely intelligent. They are the product of years and years of this mental health awareness. They've seen it. They understand it. They're not scared to talk about it. So when they start feeling themselves kind of not the same person, they raise their hand and they're like, hey, I need some help. And it's like you either meet them and get them the help that they need, or that you go, well, we really don't have anything for you. And then it's like, well, fuck you then. I'm going to go over here where they take care of their people. And people are like, well, they're just not loyal. They're just soft. And it's like, no, they're better than they're way better than we ever were at that age.
Right. Well, we got to raise the hiring incentive and the hiring bonus, right? That's what's going to get them. But
yes.
What I've noticed is the newer generation, before the mental health thing even sets in, they're willing to ask why. Why is this process the way that it is? Why are we doing this the way that it is? And when they start hearing, because that's how we've always done it, they realize that there's an issue there, and they're going to move on and they're going to move forward.
Yeah, I mean, God knows we've lost a lot of people, a lot of young people very early, right before I retired. And to be candid, like I left years on the table. I bought my Navy time back to get to the full pension, but like I could have stayed and tried to affect more change than what I was already doing. I saw like legitimate leaders, not managers, legitimate leaders be pushed out by the cultural norm. And the cultural norm is what is actually killing our cops and our firefighters, the cultural norm.
And what we've been saying also is that, yeah, you can say a lot of stuff when you're carrying that badge, but you don't have those handcuffs taken off until you get out.
Absolutely.
And when you are relying upon that paycheck and you're relying upon that pension, you're only going to say so much. You might get, some of us are a little brash and we're willing to tell you that you got issues with you, but we're only going to say so much because we know they're going to try to jam you up in an IA, or they're going to try to push you out because they don't like you.
Right.
Once you're out, like you are, and the handcuffs are off, man, the gloves are off too, and it's time to start throwing punches.
Absolutely. And I was let's say I was sparring about the last 5 years. You know what I mean? I had some serious spar sessions in the last 5 years of my career, which kind of led me to where I am today. But you hit it on the head. Like, I put out the latest episode of kind of recapping all the sins and the feedback that I was getting. The quiet feedback, the quiet, you're saying everything I wish we could say. If I wasn't with my agency, or I'm looking for exit strategies, or, all these things, So it makes me go, okay, maybe I'm doing the right thing. Maybe this is the group that I need to be the voice for. And if that makes me the villain, like, so be it. Like I'll wear it.
I'm assuming that you've probably gotten the email or the phone call, "Hey man, you pulled me out of something deep by saying what you had to say."
Oh, yeah, there's been many.
Because it happens all the time.
There's been many a DM since I've started this thing. And
Yes.
Turk, to be honest with you, I started this thing less than 6 months ago. Like, I was never forward facing. I was always behind the scenes. Like, I always tried to keep it that fine line. Like, I would throw out these articles that would question a lot of the things that we were doing, you know, in the wellness culture, and that would kind of stir some shit up. But my buddy said it best. He was like, you need to show your face. You need to kind of show who is the person behind the words, and it's time for you to be a little bit more forward facing. So, you know, 6 months into this thing, man, and I got to get a bigger phone because of all the shit that's coming on. It's ridiculous, man. But it's great at the same time. Like, it's very fulfilling. Like, I thought my purpose was what I was doing with teaching and traveling and speaking and stuff like that. That's just a byproduct of this now. Like, this is it. Like, I really enjoy doing this.
That you go back to the authenticity part of it, and yeah, you can say a lot of words, but if you're hiding, and we were too, we were hiding for a long time behind the microphone with the camera turned off.
Right.
If that person doesn't see the face, you are hiding, and they don't believe you as much. Episode 6, or it would have been episode 7, Deadly Sin number 6. We get into the idea of organization betrayal, which is obviously covered in the previous episodes, but it gets hit home hard here. Our last episode, you know, we talked about how you could die on Monday, whether it be on duty or off duty. Your funeral's on Wednesday. They probably promoting and trying to recruit at your funeral, but then by Friday, that ad is going to be in the paper. Hey, we got an opening. And you talked about it as 3 emails. What were those 3 emails?
Yeah, I think we all have seen it. We've all probably experienced at least the first 2. At least I can say I've experienced the first 2. You know, that first email or letter, depending on how long you've been with an agency. You know, welcoming. Welcoming you, right? You know, you get the welcome letter. Welcome to, you know, Anytown Police Department, USA. You start the academy on this date. You know, our staff congratulates you. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get that one, and then you do everything you possibly can between that one and the second one, which is congratulations on your normal service retirement. Staff wishes you the best. Make sure you turn in your fucking gas card, you know, because that's the only thing that they're worried about is that fucking gas card.
Right.
So
or deactivating your building card before you're even done and retired.
Yes,
100%.
Yes. So, you know, you work on that. The issue is we kind of get lost between that first and second one. We put so much effort and so much loyalty into the organization for an organization that doesn't love you back. And you learn that very quickly after that second one. You get that second one and you're kind of on your own. You know, you may have a couple people checking in with you. You may meet some folks for lunch or a coffee or stuff like that, but you're just another person that did the job for X amount of time, and they're hoping that you die quicker than the norm, so they don't have to pay out the pension very long.
Right. Let's throw that back in the fun. Yep.
Right. So then if you're lucky enough, you know, you may still have somebody that you know within the agency when and if that third email comes out. And that third email is your services. You know, retired Sergeant so-and-so or retired Officer so-and-so has passed on. Services are here. What happens after that shows your family what type of legacy you left during between those first 2 emails. You know, was it worth the missed birthdays? Was it worth the missed holidays? Was it worth the long hours? Was it worth all the stuff that you put into? Was it worth treating your family like shit? Was it worth all of those things? when only one or two representatives from the agency shows up to hand a flag to your family? Was it all worth it? So what I tell people is what you do between 1 and 2, whether you're the best fucking cop in the world, best detective, best fucking leader, at the end of the day, you better be the best husband and the best fucking father or mother you could possibly be within your career. Because when that third one comes out, that's all that actually matters.
Right. And, I will tell you, I've been on honor guard. If the officer or the first responder passes away while they're still working, you're going to get 12 gun salute. You're going to get all the lights and sirens to escort them through, whether it was on duty, off duty, because it's the right thing to do. But if you make it to retirement, man, they're going to send, like Rich said, 1 or 2 guys, maybe 3 or 4 in full uniform to go sit at the back of the church while the procession's going on, because it's the right thing to do and it looks good by having the honor guard there. But there is not the same gravitas, I guess, to it, because you were just a number and you're no longer part of the agency to them. You're no longer part of the family. You were dead to them before you actually passed away. You also hit hard on this one, that you are valuable to that agency until you are a human and you start having human issues. And the big problem with that is that you're telling me to go take care of the community, but then you're not treating me with the same respect, even while I'm wearing your uniform, which is a big problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is probably the biggest issue, is you expect me to do a job that is very split-second decisions, very, very much like I can make a decision today that could impact me, my family, and everybody else tomorrow. You expect me to be at 100% capacity every time I strap on that vest and I go out and do the job. You expect my interactions with the public to be nothing but pleasant every time I speak to a member of the public. But the minute I start slipping, and the minute I start, whether it just be like little tiny things, a complaint about being rude or whatever it is, we want to fucking hammer you and not get to the root cause. Because if we got to the root cause, I will guarantee we would start to see changes. But it's easier for me to just put you on paper and tell you not to do it again. I've never seen progressive discipline help anybody. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Like I've been fucking suspended, and the first thing I fucking ask is, can I take it on a Friday? It wasn't going to change the behavior. Well, the behavior isn't going to change. The only way the behavior changes is if we get to the root cause of it. And, the organization would much rather hang you out to dry in the court of public opinion than actually get you the help that you need.
Yeah. And, okay, so to that, I've seen guys that have been suspended and they've been allowed to use their time off, their vacation days. Hey, we're going to suspend you, but we're going to put on the board that you were on vacation. Again, it's not going to fix the problem, but it's going to build a case against you so that if they need to, they can pull the ripcord. You're part of the family until you start being human. You cause them issues, and then they're going to get you out of there as soon as they can.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I hate to use the term, but it's kind of like the fucked up uncle at Christmas. We all know that they're fucked up, right? Yeah, but if we enable the behavior and we don't actually question why the behavior is happening, then it'll keep like we know what we're getting every Christmas, right? we know how that uncle's going to show up every Christmas. Just like, agencies know the people that are struggling. We know how they're showing up for work every day. We enable the behavior. And then, like you said, we enable till we can't enable anymore because we've either committed a crime or we've done something so detrimental that there's no coming back from it. And then it's cut the cord and away you go. When you had
cut the cord and hope that bottle takes care of you when you're away. Right,
because it's, to be honest with you, Turk, it's probably the only thing that's been keeping that person alive is that bottle.
Yes.
So
you're part of the family until you're not, and that takes us to episode number 8, 7 Deadly Sin number 7, and that's family science. And this is one that I think, unfortunately, those new guys and girls in those first 3 years, I don't think they're ever going to understand it because it takes time before it finally hits home and you realize it. You talk about how, this job is so demanding on you that, yes, you have to decompress, but it quickly turns into disconnect. And the one line that you said that absolutely just rocked my socks was, a responder can survive the job and still lose what matters most at home because of this issue and this family silence problem.
Yeah, that is probably one of the biggest problems, I think, within our culture. We tend to we want to silo our family, and we use the guys. We want to protect them. We don't want them to come into the agency. We don't want to commit. We don't want them to be exposed to what the agency is. We don't want them to be in the city where I work. Whatever it is, this protection, this wall, right? And we do that, I think, for the right reasons. We don't want to expose them to some of the things that we've experienced. We don't want to tell them some of the experiences we've experienced because we want to protect. And after a while, that communication starts to erode. It becomes two ships passing in the wind. One going to work, one coming home. It becomes that one spot on the couch that nobody else except for you is allowed to sit in. Usually with a beverage, and then it becomes small arguments about what's for dinner because you don't want to make decisions because you've been making them for fucking 12 hours. It becomes that, like you said, over time. This isn't, you work a shift and then all of a sudden you're like this. You're talking 5 to 7 years into the job, that disconnect starts to happen. And what happens is, usually there's kids involved and stuff like that. We just start doing the parenting thing, and we stop doing the relationship thing. So there's a huge disconnect there, and that, like I said in the previous sins, that leads to other problems, right?
Yes.
So if I'm not talking at home, where I chose the person, I chose this person that I could be the most vulnerable I could possibly be, and I can't even talk to them about how I'm feeling or how the job is actually fucking me up because I don't want to put that burden on them. And
one of the terms that I've heard is roommate spouse as opposed to relationship spouse, and it certainly becomes that, like you talked about, with that the disconnect is I guess the word to keep using there. One of the things that I've noticed is that so many guys and girls will be like, we need to go to 12s. We need to go to those rotating 12s because it's going to get me 3 days off every other week and it's going to be so great. But then those days that you're working, it's eat, sleep, work. And then those 3 days off are decompression. I use air quotes there for those just listening.
Yeah.
It's decompression during those 3 days because you're just so wiped out and you can't handle it. Well, it's not really decompression, it's disconnect. And you don't have any idea how much you are affecting those around you that you love.
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you, my wife will tell you, I never missed anything. I never missed a practice. I never missed a game. If it was working on a holiday, I'd figure out a way to be there in some capacity. And I would, and she puts me on this pedestal when it comes to that. And I'm very quick to say, yeah, I was there physically, but mentally I was checked out. Like I couldn't tell you what was going on. I was worried about did I miss an email? Did I miss a call? Did somebody need me for something? We have a tendency of buying into our own bullshit, thinking that we're the fucking best thing since sliced bread, and
that we're needed,
and that we're needed, and the one fucking place that we are truly needed, we completely check out. So that's why it was important to end that series on family silence.
And I'll be the first one to admit it. This thing right here, prime example number one, this thing right here takes you away from your family more than you realize. Social media, work, the podcast side of things, right? You're so drawn to that thing that you're taken away from those around you and those that you love. And we have to do a better job of being accountable to ourselves. One of the seven deadly sins, we got to be more accountable towards what matters most and who's around us and who we love.
No, absolutely. And that's, like I said, it kind of, if you look at it and the lead up until family silence, you could probably go backwards as to what causes it, right? So organizational betrayal, complacency, accountability, inauthentic support. All these things are leading to, when you actually break the threshold of your home, that you're bringing home with you, which causes that family silence. And that family silence then causes the real issues. It causes the substance use disorder issues. It causes the risky behavior issues, all the things. And that's where the wheels fall off. So I wanted to really drive that home in that last episode as to just how important it is to stay connected with the people that are the most important. The job isn't the most important thing in the world. I know it can feel like that sometimes, and I know your bosses can kind of make you feel like you're the most important thing in the world. But at the end of the day, when that third fucking email drops, those are the people that are left that have to really look at the legacy you're leaving behind and whether it was all worth it.
And what I will tell you for the listeners and the viewers at home, I absolutely encourage you to go listen and listen to his 7 episodes on the 7 deadly sins. This last one, this family silence one, you need to find a space where it's going to be quiet and you can be grounded, because it's going to hit home probably harder than the rest of them, but it's a message you need to hear. You mentioned that, obviously you've had another episode since then where you kind of covered some of those messages that you've been receiving about guys and girls that are happy that people are finally talking about this.
Right.
I think that's only going to continue to happen more and more, because we talked about this beforehand. You've got some things popping up where you're going to put your face out there.
Right.
You're going to be talking to some organizations that need to hear this. Give us a little bit about what's happening with Rich and what's going to be happening here in the immediate future and kind of the goals we have going forward.
Yeah, so, the big thing bouncing off of the Reset podcast was creating the Responder Reset period. With the Responder Reset, there's ways that you can get in touch with me if you want to hear this message in a keynote, if you want to hear my journey in a keynote, if you want actual tangible training that comes with certifications. Through ICISF, I'm an instructor across the board, basic, advanced, for those. I also teach multiple other curriculums, whether it's navigating retirement, whether it's cancer in law enforcement, which is part of my journey. You're going to get it in a capacity that isn't just straight out of a book. It isn't going to be just evidence-based. It's going to be a mix of evidence-based and lived experience. And it's going to come from a guy that looks like me. And I think, that goes a long way, because most people wouldn't know that I have that master's degree in counseling, because I don't lead with it. They just look at me like I'm just this, gorilla with sleeved arms and knuckle tats and just screaming into the void. Everything that I'm talking about is all backed by evidence. Like I'm not making this stuff up. I'm not just an angry kid from Boston with no friends.
Right.
This is a serious fucking business. People's lives are at stake, and if we keep falling into this trap of, like I said, the awareness bubble, and we want to stay in the awareness bubble because it's safe, stay in it. Like, there are plenty of people out there that are willing to have those conversations, that are willing to take your money, that are willing to take a lot of your money, your full wellness budget at times. But if you want to step out and you literally want to reset your agency, and you really want to have the hard conversations and listen to the hard truths and set you and your agency on a path to actually unfuck the culture, let's have a conversation, because that's where I'm at now. Like I want to have these tough conversations with leadership. I want to have tough conversations with peer teams, and I want to take a hard look at what they're doing and give them the constructive feedback as to, hey, you're not doing this very well. Let's help you out.
And full circle on this episode. Again, one of the big reasons I was excited is that it has unfortunate terms, right? The way that guys like you and I got here, and some of our other shows have gotten here, has been through trauma and has been through backstabbing.
Mm-hmm.
But we finally have a lot of people, probably not enough yet, but a lot of people that have been stabbed in the back and who are ready now to start calling it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
That, again, the handcuffs are off. They're ready to say what needs to be said so that we can finally start moving forward. And maybe we can get that unfortunate number of suicides in the profession down and get it lower than what it has been.
Maybe we can start. Maybe we can start getting agencies to actually call it for what it is. Maybe we can actually get agencies to say that we had a member die of suicide. Maybe that will start to turn things in the right direction, because most agencies don't want to do that, Turk. They want to say it's an unattended death and they move on.
Mm-hmm.
And they move on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that only hurts the family. Because if there's evidence that the job impacted them to the point where their mental health was so bad that they had to complete suicide, then the family should benefit from that.
Right. And again, a lot of it is that self-reflection where they don't want to admit the reason that first responder killed themselves was probably because of something within those four walls, whether it be the leadership or the environment, or not having the support because of the calls that they were going through and the issues they were going through. 100%. Rich, you have completely, what's the phrase? Knocked my dick off. It has been an incredible episode. I was a little afraid that we were going to go for 7 hours covering these things, but we have fortunately wrapped it up in a nice little bow within an hour. Where can the viewers and the listeners find you and get a hold of you for your message, for your program?
Yeah, I think the biggest platform right now is probably Instagram. Secondly, with TikTok. I'm on Facebook as well. You can find me also with Lighthouse Health and Wellness. I'm their director of public safety insights. I'm also, if you're more on the professional side, you can find me on LinkedIn. I've kind of taken a hiatus from LinkedIn because I believe it's just a large echo chamber for doing all the right things. So you can definitely find me on those platforms. You can find me at the website, the responderreset.org. There's a contact me portion to the page where you can just shoot me an email. But you can really find my messaging on a day-to-day basis on any of the Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok.
And he's got some pretty sweet T-shirts and merch over there.
I do.
People might like.
Yeah, I do. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just started that line. People wanted it. Like, it wasn't anything like, oh, I'm gonna build a T-shirt. You know, I'd be out in public and be like, hey, do you got a shirt for your podcast? Hey, do you got a hat for your podcast? Hey, you know, you should do T-shirts. Your logo is fucking sick. So I was like, fuck it, we'll give it a whirl. And you know, I kind of threw all that stuff that you see on the merch store is all stuff that I designed. So I don't have anybody designing my shit for me. This is all in-house. It's all me. This whole fucking thing is pretty much all me, with the exception of where I tape the podcast. All my edits that are on the gram and stuff like that, I do that myself. So it's like I said.
So you want to start a podcast?
Yeah. So you want to start a podcast, man? Yeah. It was definitely eye-opening for me. But yeah, you can catch me on any of those platforms. I'm pretty responsive to DMs. I'll respond to them fairly quickly. And like I said, if you're looking for somebody to come into the agency and kind of bring this messaging in, hit me up. I think it's time.
It is time. And again, he is what he speaks. He's not going to hold any punches, and he is a resource for what we are looking to accomplish. Rich, is there anything else that you want to kind of give before we hit the stop button on this one?
You know, that you hit me with the fucking open-ended question, man. I could sit here for another 10 minutes. I think for the listeners and those that are maybe already following me, my biggest thing is thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your day to actually listen and actually give a fuck of what guys like Turk, guys like myself. I'm going to give a shout out to my buddy Kenny Mitchell with Operation Yellow Tape. Guys like us that are saying the things that a lot of people don't want to hear, but they need to hear. Seriously, you know, I can't thank you guys enough. It's been a wild fucking 6 months. The followership has gone through the roof. The downloads have gone through the roof. Like, it's been a wild ride. Like, it's crazy. Like, I got two kids that are like you're going viral, and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck that means. That's great, but I don't know what that means. Seriously, like, from the bottom of my heart, this is where you're going to see the softer side of Rich. I truly want to thank your listeners for even, number one, allowing you to give me the platform to talk about a lot of the things that I'm doing, and if those folks that may be following me, that continue to follow me. I'm truly humbled by your loyalty, and maybe it's time that we start getting a little bit louder. So, Turk, thank you.
Absolutely, and god dang it, those who've listened to the show, they know that I have no way of closing this thing off very well. I'm terrible at that part of it. I can't say any better, so I will leave it at that, and stay safe, Warriors, because we're going to get through this together.
It's spinning again. Yes, spinning again. The stress, the laughs, the blood, the tears. Hard days, long years. We talk it out, face the fears. If it's been keeping you up at night, you're not the only one here. It's spinning again. Admin talks and broken plans, doing the best that we can. Jokes on shift, truth off mic, trying to live a normal life. Mental health ain't weakness, no, it's the stuff we learn as we go. Say it out loud, make it clear, this job don't own us here. So tune it in, don't disappear when it all gets said